Hello, I'm David.
Hi, I'm Julie.
Now we're going to do a review of Halloween, a hidden movement game by Trick or Treat Studios. This is for 2 to 4 players, takes about 60 minutes to play, and it's for ages 4 to 10 and up. The game is simple enough for younger people to play, if you think the theme is appropriate. So this is a one versus many game, where one person will be Michael Myers and the other players will be victims trying to find Lindsey and Tommy. And either the blue keys or the yellow keys, and escaping in either the blue car or the yellow car. In a 2-player game, as I said, I would be Michael Myers, Julie would be the victims, and she would need to play at least 2 victims. She could also choose Bob and Linda, but she chose Lori and Annie to begin with. The sheriff and Dr. Loomis can come in after a victim dies. So how does Michael Myers wins? Michael Myers wins in a game with 2 victims by killing 4 victims, or playing the game until turn 24. But then if you're playing with 3 victims, say it says 4 players here, that means 1 player is Michael Myers, and then there's 3 human players playing victims. The game will end in 18 turns, and Michael Myers only has to defeat 3 victims. As I said, the victims win when they escape with Tommy and Lindsey, or they knock Michael Myers down to 12 health. So the game revolves around, you see the suburbs here. Each character will have a start space. I think Lori starts over here somewhere.
And Annie starts here.
And then Michael Myers will start on an open space out of line of sight of a victim. And the victims will run around trying to find Lindsey and Tommy.
Yep, and he does a good job.
So there'll be 4 separate decks here of 9 cards. There'll be 9 cards here in the blue quadrant, the off-white quadrant, the yellow and the orange or the red. Maybe this is orange. It's kind of a yellow-orange.
Yeah, it's hard to tell.
But the point is, there'll be 9 cards, and one of these cards with the keys will be in the separate deck on the bottom 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You'll take one of these randomly without knowing it. Take 4 of them, mix these up, shuffle it into the 4, and then put it at the bottom. So you know, so the victims are going to have to at least go through enough searches to find it. It could be all the way on the bottom.
Yep.
And so there'll be one of these mini decks in each of the search spaces. Here you can search, get 2 cards, search it again and get 1 card. And really what's going on here, each victim has 2 actions. They can move, go through a window, search, play cards that they find. They can attack Michael Myers, they can trade cards, and if you get exert, which allows you to move farther or to move through windows a little faster, you would have to rest if you get 3 exerts. So you can exert your character, but then you'd have to rest. Now Michael Myers, on the other hand, he moves 5, the victims move 4, although they can exert themselves to move 5. He can infiltrate, going through a window or a hedge. So normally the hedges are, the solid lines are blocked off to victims, but Michael Myers can go through them. He can go through windows too. He can pursue in a straight line as long as he's not in the line of sight of a victim. And then he can attack, he rolls 3 dice. Now when he takes a damage or a card is played that affects him, he can be staggered. It happens, or affects him for a turn. Unless he gets damaged on that turn. He'll move up to 3 spaces instead of 5. He can go through windows and hedges. But he cannot move through in a straight line as far as he wants. And he only roll 2 dice to attack. Michael Myers can find cards. Well, not find them, but he gets cards after so many turns. And so he'll keep track on this board here where he's at. That's why it's a hidden movement game. So on turn 5, he'll get a card. He'll take his 2 actions, then he'll be able to use this card. He'll get it at the end of his turn and be able to use it on a future turn. And when does Michael appear? Well, when a victim sees him in a straight line. So Michael Myers could be standing right here, right next to Lori, and she will not see him. Now, he would be marked on my board here. Okay, Julie wouldn't know that. But as soon as Lori turns, he appears. If she tries to move through him, she stops and he gets a free attack. On his turn, if he attacks her, she faces him and he gets to attack her. And then if some reason Laurie moves away and can't see him anymore, that's where you use this footprint here. So as victims are moving around, they only check line of sight after them moving, and they can only see in a straight line. They cannot see through doors unless they're adjacent and Michael Myers is attacks through there. They can see through windows, but they cannot see through solid lines. So you keep on playing until those conditions are met. Either Michael Myers dies, or they get out with Tommy and Lindsey, or Michael Myers kills, in this case, 4 victims in a 2-victim game, or 24 turns goes by. All right, so let's take a look at our rating now.
Yes.
So I said 7, usually willing to play, and Julie said 6.
Yes.
Which is actually kind of remarkable because this is a scary game for Julie. It's not as stressful as the game you see over there.
No, but I think I know why I chose 6 is because I'm not having to stare at this psychopath all the time.
Yeah, because he pops up
Yeah.
occasionally, and even then, it's not like in the Texas Chainsaw game where he's up all the time, and
No.
it's even creepier.
It
okay?
is so,
Whereas this, yeah, you're stressed a little bit.
a lot of it.
Okay, moving around, not knowing where he is. But when he's appeared, and he disappears because he's out of your line of sight, you know he's going to be around here somewhere. And this person over here is probably not going to get touched by him.
Right.
Unless he moves in a straight line and gets through
So
right
that does
quick.
help a lot.
Right.
But yeah, that's why I voted that one a 6.
All right, let's see our ratings. It's thematically suspenseful and faithful movie adaptation with one versus many hidden movement. The gameplay mechanics over realism. So the reason why I said that is that I took the time to explain how line of sight works. You could be moving around and you don't check line of sight until you're done moving and you face your character. So, for instance, Michael Myers, you wouldn't know this, could be standing right here. And Laurie decides to move this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, and she faces this way. Okay? She will not see him, even though he's standing right there. The reason why that's done is because it would be too easy for the victims, okay?
I'm okay with that.
Well, I'm just saying, though, it would be easier for you to
Right.
defeat him.
I know.
So, in real life, you'd be able to see everything in a diagonal.
Right.
Like this, okay? But again, they're doing that to add suspense. And
Sure,
I'm okay
and it
with
does.
it. I'm okay with that because the game would be too easy. So
True.
that's why it's a neutral. So it's accessible and easy to teach. Myers requires more experience. I haven't won yet as Michael Myers. And I'm okay with that. I'm having fun trying to win. It's quality components, exceptional board. You might not realize this, but this is either it's foil stamped. I think this is foil stamped here, the
Oh.
letters. So you see that it glows a little bit here in the
Oh,
light.
yeah, I see that now.
Okay.
Yeah.
It-
That's cool.
They did a good job of making the letters visible, but not so visible it distracts you from the art. So good job on
Yeah.
that. And the cards have a linen finish, which means it has a foil stamp on the cards here to add durability. The counters, the decent thickness, so you can get the miniatures separately, although they can come loose here. So you may have to put a little sticky note here to help it stay in. So the art is a little dark, but I think that's thematically done on purpose. But sometimes it can be hard to read the text. So in other words, I don't mind the art being dark, but sometimes it's too
That's
dark
not
here.
bad.
Sometimes it's too dark.
Maybe on your cards, mine weren't bad.
Sometimes it can be a little too dark to read. Well, you gotta understand, we're in a really bright room.
Oh, that's true.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you got dark blue, a darker blue here, and a black text. If this was lighter, you might be saying like, oh, I can see it fine on camera. That's because we have really bright lights in here. So that's a complaint on that. The text can be hard to read. There's some minor rules issues. So for instance, it's great that they have reference sheets, okay? But they don't have, they're missing key rules in here. Like for instance, you can move through victims. Victims can move through each other. And in fact, it doesn't even say anything about that. You can even shoot through victims. Because when Dr. Loomis and the sheriff come in, they have guns.
Yep.
Okay. Here, though, this is really not good. That on the Myers board, it should say no attack through solid lines. And that you can attack through hollow lines, those are the doors, And it wasn't clear how the hedges work because his dotted line's on my board. Okay, so Michael Myers has the dotted line, but on the board it's a solid line for the victims. And it says to attack, you have to be able to have somebody in line of sight, but you cannot see through hedges. So you assume that you can attack through hedges. It's not very clear on that. And it doesn't say that you can attack through windows, but it does say that in the rules. So again, it wouldn't have been, look how much space you have here. They could have included those notes in there. So that's disappointing that there's little things they could have included on the reference sheets to make that even easier to play. Because as you'll see here, when I learn a game, I have to highlight things because there's buried rules.
Yeah.
When you see a little sticky thing right there, that means that, oh, there's an important rule in this sentence. It doesn't begin with a sentence.
Right.
And they should have included a round of a playthrough.
Oh, I see.
An example, because there's going to be people that buy this that are not hobbyists.
Oh.
That will not pay attention to all the details that I have marked here. Especially when it comes to how to handle hedges.
Oh, sure.
And so they should have included a round of play for the audience that this is geared towards. This is so simple. If the rule book did certain things that though people who play Monopoly and Scrabble and Uno can handle this.
Right.
But they're going to be confused and they're going to have to watch videos like our How to Play video.
Ah.
And then the MSRP is going to be a challenge as well.
Oh.
I don't know how many they're printing, but it's a $60 MSRP. Whereas a company like Funko probably they wouldn't have done as quality of components. Maybe they would have gotten close, but they could have produced it maybe for 30 or 40. So that's an issue for Trick or Treat Studios. You've made a game here that's accessible to the masses, but the MSRP is not accessible to the masses. And it's not complicated enough that a hobbyist will say, it's a must-have.
Right.
This is going to be for people who are into Halloween that will get this. And that's why it's a 7, because you're going to pull this out every now and then. So it's priced for hobbyists to be okay with. But there's not enough game here for a hobbyist to want to buy this who's not into Halloween.
Sure.
Okay? The theme is great for the masses, but it's priced too high for masses. So I don't know what they're going to have to do to get the price point down. Maybe they didn't have enough confidence that they could sell enough copies to sell it for $40, and that because the more you make, the price goes down.
I see.
Whereas other game companies can produce a game at a lower price point, but they might be doing 20, 30, 40,000 copies. I don't know how many copies they're doing.
Okay.
Okay. If they're only doing a 5,000 print run, then it has to be a $60 price point.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see Julie's.
Not as detailed as David's. What else is new? I thought it was easy to learn and play. David taught it to me very quickly, and I picked up on it. Except sometimes you see in the How to Play and Play Through, I did some magic movement that David was like, "What the heck are you doing?"
You're teleporting around.
I was teleporting around. I think the pieces are quality as well as the game board. It's just, I love the art on the board. It's neat. You can picture yourself inside these houses, which is kind of cool. Playtime isn't too bad with 2 players. I know on our How to Play and Play Through, it went longer because David had to explain it. But when we've played it, it's not too bad.
45 minutes.
It goes pretty quick.
In fact, me being terrible at Michael Myers, it could be over in 30 minutes.
I know. And it is a highly stressful hide-and-seek game for those who aren't big on scary movies. And you guys know by now, they are not my cup of tea. So
but you'll play this over the Texas Chainsaw game.
It takes a lot because that... Well,
he only appears every now and then, and yes, you're stressed. But at least you don't have Leatherface running around and having to see him the whole time.
And you making his creepy noise and everything. Stop!
See, there you go. Just a noise got her. All right, so Halloween. This is a must-have if you're a fan of Halloween. The game is solid. If you're a hobbyist, you have no problem with this learning the game. If you don't play many hobby games, you're going to probably need to watch our How to Play Through video or other people's How to Play Through videos. And you're going to have to decide how big of a fan are you to shell out $60 for this. And the miniatures cost another $20 if you want the miniatures. So, but if you're a fan, it's worth it. And we are fans, and we bought this.
Excuse me. He's
well,
a fan.
you're right. But our sons are, and they're going to.
Our sons and our
they'll
future
enjoy
daughter-in-law are fans.
Yeah, they'll enjoy this.
They will very much enjoy it.
Okay. Thanks for watching.
Thanks so much, you guys. We hope you had fun, and we'll see you in the next video.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.